After 3 years apart, I discovered my belongings in the garden with a heartwarming note. Sorry, Maya stepped off the bus, her heart pounding against her ribcage like a drum. The familiar outline of her small Midwestern town stretched before her, but the vibrant bustle of Chicago felt like a distant dream. She was back, but it felt more like stepping into a ghost town than returning home. As she walked down Main Street, memories flooded back: neighbors grilling in front yards, kids playing tag until dusk. Now, the sidewalks were cracked, the storefronts faded, and the air hung heavy with unspoken loss. The weight of guilt settled like a stone in her stomach. She had left to chase her dreams, but her mother's voice echoed in her mind, the sadness like a shadow. You can always come home, Maya. But what did home mean now? The sun streamed through the windows of her childhood home, dust motes illuminating the cluttered living room. Every corner carried whispers of the past and memories of her father's laughter, mixing with her mother's quiet resilience. As Maya set her bag down, an urge took hold: she needed to help her mother and this town that had once cradled her dreams. One afternoon, while tackling the overgrown backyard, she stumbled upon her father's cherished garden. It lay hidden beneath a tangled mess of weeds, abandoned like her dreams. Digging deeper, she unearthed her childhood treasures: old toys, half-finished drawings, and finally, a heartwarming note from her mother. Unfolding it, she read, "Sorry, Em, for the long nights and silent worries. You'll always have a place here." Tears brimmed in her eyes. It revealed the quiet sacrifices her mother made, the echoes of families struggling against the tide of economic decline. With each word, her heart swelled but also ached. Could the American dream really be just for the lucky few? Her parents had instilled values of family, loyalty, and community, elements she had abandoned in pursuit of self. Fueled by a new resolve, she decided to transform the neglected garden into a vibrant community space, a sanctuary for old friends to reconnect. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Tension rose as she faced resistance not just from the town's bureaucracy but also from friends weighed down by their own burdens. "You're dreaming too big, Mia," echoed the harsh truths of life's disappointments. Memories of her father's laughter became her strength. What did it mean to put love into action? As her community garden began to take shape, the stakes grew. A developer was circling, eyeing the land like a hawk. Just when it seemed too heavy, an unexpected ally surged into her life, someone with deep roots tied to her own struggles for belonging. Standing at the edge of the garden, she could almost hear her father calling her name, asking a question that could alter everything. Would she grasp the legacy of love her parents built, or would she run from it again? Just beyond the garden gate, a new journey awaited, and she could feel the pull of hope behind her, igniting a yearning to reclaim her home. The next morning, the sun peeked through the heavy clouds, casting a soft glow over the garden. Maya stood in the dewy grass, feeling the coolness seep into her skin. Her father's old wheelbarrow, rusty but sturdy, sat nearby. How many times had they filled it with fresh soil, ready to plant seeds that would blossom into life? She smiled, remembering the excitement in her dad's eyes each spring as they planned the garden together. A sense of determination filled her. With the community meeting just a few days away, she needed to rally the townsfolk, to ignite that spark of hope she had found in the buried treasures of her father's garden. But doubt lingered like the morning fog. Who would come? Many had grown disheartened, their ambitions dulled by hard knocks and closed doors. As she began pulling weeds, her mind raced with possibilities. She could host a small gathering to show people her vision. An open carving day for pumpkins in the fall, or a summer barbecue to bring families together. What if they painted a mural celebrating their shared history? Each idea danced around her, making her heart race with excitement. But would her friends see the beauty in it too? Just then, a familiar voice broke her thoughts. Maya. Need a hand? It was Jake, her childhood friend, his sun-kissed hair tousled and his smile bright. They hadn't spoken much since she'd come back, but he had always believed in her, even when she doubted herself. Jake. Yes, please, she replied, grateful for the unexpected support. Together, they dug into the earth, unearthing stones and roots alike. As they worked, Maya found herself sharing her dreams for the garden, the community, the connection, the purpose. She could see Jake nodding, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. You're onto something big here. This town needs it, he said, dusting off his hands. But you need more voices in this fight. Let's get others involved. Let us make it happen. Excitement bubbled within her. For the first time since her return, she felt a glimmer of hope. Soon, they were reaching out to others, gathering letters of support and crafting flyers for the meeting. Each conversation, every nod of agreement fueled her ambition. As days passed, whispers of her project spread across the community. The momentum was building, but so was the tension. The developer had caught wind of her plans, and now he was trying to get the town council on his side, claiming her garden project wasn't financially viable. We can't let him take this from us, Maya muttered one evening, poring over papers filled with numbers and terms that felt foreign to her. This is more than just land, it's hope. Gathered in her living room one night, Maya and Jake strategized how to present their case. They crafted slogans, projected their vision, and practiced how to speak from the heart. But doubt crept back in. Would the council see it as she did? As the meeting day approached, the pressure mounted. She couldn't shake the fear that their father's legacy would slip through her fingers. Tears threatened as she tucked away the note from her mother, feeling its weight in her pocket. Just as they were wrapping up their meeting, a knock echoed through the house. Maya swung open the door to find Mrs. Thompson, a warm smile on her face. Maya, I heard about the meeting. I'm here to help. Her words dripped with kindness, igniting a sense of relief in the pit of Maya's stomach. The townspeople were starting to rally. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows through her doorway, doubt lingered still. Would their collective voices be enough to keep the garden alive? Outside, the wind picked up, howling like a distant storm. Tomorrow would tell. As Maya stood at her threshold, the evening air kissed her cheeks. Just as she felt ready to step forward into her father's dream, a thought struck her. What if she uncovered more than just the community's resolve? What other hidden treasures lay waiting beneath the surface? With that thought lingering in her heart, she tucked the note from her mother deeper into her pocket, ready to fight for her new beginning, unaware of the secrets that still lay buried deep in the ground. Would she uncover them in time? The next day broke with a promise of change. Maya stirred early, her mind buzzing with thoughts of the meeting ahead. The garden felt different, alive in a way she hadn't fully grasped before. Butterflies danced among the blooms as if they sensed her determination. Today was a turning point, she could feel it. Jake arrived just as the sun cast its golden rays over the garden. His energy was infectious, a brightness that pushed away her lingering doubts. You ready for this? He asked, grinning as he hefted a stack of flyers. Maya nodded, her stomach fluttering. I think so, she replied, though uncertainty still lurked in her chest. They set off, wandering the neighborhood, handing out flyers, and sharing her vision. Each encounter was a mix of excitement and tension. Some were eager, ready to join her cause, while others wore expressions of skepticism. A garden won't fix everything, one man had grumbled, his arms crossed tightly over his chest. Maya's heart sank at his words. But for every disbelieving face, there were two that lit up at the thought of community, of connection, of something new. The sun was dipping low by the time they reached Mrs. Thompson's porch. She welcomed them with her usual warmth, her hands cradling a cup of tea. I've been spreading the word, she said, her voice soothing. People want to believe in something. You're giving them that chance. Maya felt a swell of gratitude. Mrs. Thompson's belief lifted her spirits more than she could express. I just want to make a place for people to come together, a space to share stories and memories like my dad and I used to, she confessed, her voice earnest. A flash of something crossed Mrs. Thompson's face, understanding, perhaps, but before Maya could dwell on it, she continued. You know, dear, gardens can be magical. They bring people together in ways we often forget. The twinkly-eyed woman seemed to hold a secret, but before Maya could delve into it, Mrs. Thompson changed the subject, asking about the meeting. The sun dipped lower, but Maya's heart raced through the rest of the evening. The town hall meeting felt like a pivotal moment, a chance for voices to rise against the developer's plan. As evening shadows crept in, she felt an undeniable sense of purpose. Waking the next morning, lingering hope mingled with anxiety. As she stood in front of her window, she caught sight of the garden, her parents' garden. It was alive and just waiting to be called home again. With Jake beside her, they pushed forward, readying their presentation, practicing every detail, every beat. Arriving at the town hall was like entering a different world. People flowed through the doors, gathering in clusters, murmurs rising like a swell of the tide. Maya's heart hammered in her chest. She squeezed Jake's hand, needing the reassurance. He nodded, a silent promise that they were in this together. But as she surveyed the scene, her gaze landed on the developer and his entourage. They exuded confidence, and her heart sank, fearing the worst. Would their voices be drowned out? Moments before they called her name, she caught Jake's eye, his unshakable belief wrapping around her like a cozy blanket. He smiled, and she took a deep breath, determination flooding her veins once more. Lots of people were counting on her, her father included. Maya, a voice came from the podium, drawing her back to the present. You're on. Her heart raced as she stepped forward, but just as she was about to speak, a small commotion erupted at the back of the room. A couple of kids from the community stood by the door, bursting in with bright smiles, holding something behind their backs. What if they were holding the key to the town's heart? She thought, curiosity swirling within her. The rustling and whispers grew louder as the kids approached, tugging at her thoughts like roots in the soil. What could they possibly have that could change everything? With breath held, Maya prepared to find out as the moment hung in the air, waiting for her to take it. Would the garden's hidden treasures reveal themselves in unexpected ways? Maya's heart thumped louder with each step the kids took. Their tiny hands clutched something tightly, hope shining in their eyes. A hush fell over the room. All eyes turned to the children, leaving Maya momentarily forgotten. The first kid, a girl with pigtails bouncing with every step, stepped forward. We brought something for you, Maya. She announced, her voice chirping like a robin in spring. The excitement in the air was palpable, and for a moment, Maya felt transported back to lazy summer days, where laughter mingled with the hum of bees in the garden. The children revealed a weathered box, clearly old but cherished. It bore the worn marks of time, its paint chipped but filled with charm. At the top, bright stickers decorated the sides, haphazardly placed but somehow perfect. What's inside? Maya whispered, captivated. A boy with big glasses grinned at her. Open it. It's a surprise. Tentatively, Maya approached, feeling the weight of the moment. She reached out, her fingers brushing against the box's edges. When she lifted the lid, a flurry of memories rushed out. Inside were faded photographs, hand-painted stones, and a few crumpled notes. Her fingers trembled as she picked up a note, the ink faded but still legible. Dear Maya, it started, when you feel lost, remember the garden. Love never dies, and neither do the memories. The room was silent as everyone waited for her to read more, to explain. But the words brought a tide of emotion, a swell of longings and familiar echoes. This was her father's handwriting, his voice wrapped around her heart, pulling her close even though he was gone. The memories of their time together, nestled between the flowers and soil, enveloped her like a warm hug. Tears pricked at the edges of her eyes, and she fought them. Instead of sadness, she felt an overwhelming gratitude. "Thank you so much, you wonderful kids," she managed to say, her voice thick but steady. "This means more than you can imagine." The kids beamed, radiating joy. Maya's gaze swept over the room, and she took a deep breath, feeling a swell of courage. She wasn't just an individual standing alone anymore. With these kids, with the community gathered here, she had a family, a garden-filled family. Suddenly, she knew she could channel that memory, that strength into the present. "I'm here today," she proclaimed, raising her voice, "to fight for the spirit of our community. We're building a garden, yes, but even more, we're creating a place for our stories, where memories can grow and flourish." The crowd erupted into murmurs again, this time favorable. Maya could feel the tide turning, could sense that shared warmth spreading through the room like sunlight breaking through clouds. The developer's gaze hardened, the glint of confidence in his eyes dimmed slightly. Someone shouted from the back, "We believe in you, Maya." Another voice joined, "Yeah, let us do this." Empowered by their faith, Maya pressed on, pouring her heart into every word, speaking of togetherness, of roots intertwined, of hope blooming even in the darkest of times. As she spoke, she watched the faces around her nodding, smiling, some even wiping away tears. She was no longer just Maya, the girl with a dream. She was a force, a leader, a beacon for her community. But as she wrapped up her passionate plea, she spotted a flicker of movement from the corner of her eye. The developer had gathered himself, stepping forward, ready to counter her heartfelt message. The air grew thick with tension, her heart racing once again. Maya had sparked something, ignited a fire in the room. But could she sustain it against the formidable obstacle ahead? What would he say that could threaten everything she had built in just a few moments? With the entire town watching, would her voice still hold the power it had just claimed? The developer stepped into the spotlight, his face a mask of calculated confidence. "Maya," he started, his voice steady but laced with a disarming smoothness, "while your passion is admirable, let us not forget the reality we face. This isn't just about memories and wishes. This is about progress. This city needs new development, new businesses. We can't cling to the past." A murmur of discontent rippled through the room. Maya felt a knot tightening in her stomach. She glanced at the kids, their innocent faces now confused. Did they understand the fight at play? Did they grasp what was unraveling before them? "Progress should never come at the cost of our community's heart," she shot back, her voice rising. "You speak of businesses and profit, but what about us? What about the people who live here and the stories that built this place? We can create something beautiful without destroying our roots." The developer's smile faltered for just a moment, but he quickly collected himself. "And I understand that," he replied, as if reciting a rehearsed line. "But think about the jobs that new developments would bring. The infrastructure improvements. Would you really sacrifice that for a garden?" Maya could feel the crowd tensing, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. She took a breath, trying to channel her father's spirit again. "It isn't just a garden. It's a gathering place. It's a sanctuary for our children to play and for us to share our history and future together. It's about keeping our identity alive in the rush of concrete and metal." "But at what cost, Maya?" The developer interjected, voice raising slightly, pressing the attack. "You can't deny there are opportunities that come with change. What's your plan for funding this garden of yours? Are you prepared to invest your own money?" The question hung in the air, sharp and pricking Maya's confidence. The community had come together, but could they sustain this vision? The reality dawned on her, could they raise the funds? Suddenly, the young girl with pigtails stepped forward, holding one of the crumpled notes from the box. "Maya, it doesn't matter how much money we need if we all believe in it," she said, her voice strong and unwavering. "We can ask neighbors, bake cookies, throw a fundraiser. We can do it together, can't we?" "Yes," another child yelled, clenching their fists in solid determination. We'll work as hard as we can. Maya's heart swelled with hope. Why hadn't she thought of that? The children were right there. Combined strength could create something unstoppable. Together, she echoed, closing the distance to her team. Together we can plan, we can come up with ways to fund what we believe in. We can prove that this garden is more than just a patch of dirt. It's the lifeblood of our community. Cheers erupted from the crowd, rejuvenated by her words. But the developer pressed on, sensing his grasp slipping. You think a few bake sales will stop progress? What do you think will happen when the real estate demands take over? You'll be fighting against developers who don't even care about your garden. Maya looked out at the faces surrounding her. The spark, the fire that had ignited her hopes, was slowly dimming under the weight of his words. She had to act quickly. She could feel the intention of the crowd wavering. No matter what, we will not back down. You may be able to build taller buildings, but you can't build a community. And that's what we're here for. As the crowd cheered once more, she locked eyes with the developer, feeling the weight of the moment heavy with responsibility. What now? Could her words alone hold back the storm of change he represented? The developer's gaze hardened, and Maya sensed their battle was just ramping up. The question lingered: would they truly support her fight, or was this all just the beginning of a much tougher war for the heart of their home? Maya's heart raced as she scanned the crowd, searching for signs of fear or retreat. She locked onto faces filled with apprehension but also fierce determination. They were willing to fight for what they loved. Rallying her courage, she shouted above the noise, "We are not alone. We are a community." The chant rose, fueled by the children's enthusiasm. Together. Together. Fueled by their energy, the atmosphere shifted around them. No longer was the room just a battleground for one garden. It was a vibrant community fighting to reclaim its identity. Then Maya noticed something: small hands, clutching the moldy paper notes they had written just days before. Her heart softened. "Look at these," she said, pointing. "These aren't just dreams. There are hopes, our voices. These are the thoughts of our children, our future. They deserve a place to play without the sound of jackhammers drowning out their laughter." Another child stepped forward, a boy with tousled hair and wide, hopeful eyes. "And we can keep it safe. We can help each other. Right, everyone?" "Yes." More voices joined, building a chorus of support. The developer's smile no longer held confidence, it was tinged with uncertainty. "You think your little dreams can withstand real challenges?" he called out. "You will wake up to reality soon enough." Maya shook her head. "No, we've begun waking up already. Reality isn't just what you build with bricks and steel. It's also about the lives you touch, the love you spread. You can't quantify heart." His expression flickered, and in that crack, Maya saw a glimmer of the doubt creeping in. But she couldn't let up now. With a few deep breaths, she gathered her thoughts. Every neighborhood has a soul, and this community's soul is what makes us strong. A garden is just the beginning. It will be a playground, a gathering spot, a testament to what we hold dear. The crowd was energized again. Cheers echoed through the hall, wrapping around them like a blanket of unity. Maya felt herself smiling. The children were grounding her, reminding her what they were truly fighting for. Organize bake sales, craft fairs, anything. She encouraged. "Let us brainstorm. We will get creative and show him we're worth investing in." As the ideas flowed, Maya felt a sense of purpose wash over her. For the first time since the meeting started, the weight on her shoulders lightened. She focused on the faces in front of her, the hope in their eyes revitalized her spirit. But the developer, refusing to let go, interjected one last time. "When you realize your pennies can't compete with million-dollar investments, what then? When the city neglects your efforts, leaving you with broken dreams?" A low murmur rippled through the crowd. Doubt crept in yet again, threatening to extinguish the flames of hope. Maya's heart sank. Maybe he was right. She could almost see the future he was painting, one where their dreams were stomped and discarded. No. Maya shouted, desperation coating her voice. We will not let fear intimidate us. Let us fight for what we believe in, not just with money, but with our hearts. The words stuck in the air, raw and painful. Could they really overcome those massive financial burdens? Would they truly stand together against the onslaught of change? She locked eyes with the children yet again, their resolve solid and unwavering. In their innocence, she saw strength. And in that moment, she began to understand the true measure of wealth wasn't found in dollars, it was in unity, love, and unyielding determination. Maya's voice emerged stronger, carrying the weight of every heartbeat. Together, we will save our garden, our identity, our legacy. The crowd erupted with a renewed energy, and Maya felt the tide turning. Little did she know, this was just the first campaign in a much larger battle than she had ever imagined. As she looked out into the crowd, her mind raced with ideas, yet the shadow of the developer loomed large. He wasn't done yet. Were they ready for what came next? What challenges would test their commitment to the heart of their home? Maya barely had time to catch her breath before a wave of new voices surged from the back of the crowd. A group of local artists, inspired by her words, stepped forward. One was an older woman with silver hair and paint-speckled clothes, holding a large canvas bearing a vibrant mural of flowers and children playing in the garden. "We've got your backs," she called, her voice loud and clear. "Art can transform fear into hope. Let us paint a vision of what this community can be." Emboldened by that declaration, more locals joined in. Families, neighbors, and even those who had once been silent started to share their stories. There was laughter amid tears as memories of summer picnics, laughter-filled games, and tiny hands planting seeds flooded back. The sound of hearts reconnecting echoed through the room. Maya could hardly believe the energy shifting around her. She felt it in her bones, a feeling of togetherness that was stronger than any wall of money could ever build. They were beginning to forge plans, creating ideas that bound them closer together: art shows, a monthly farmers market, community gardening days, and storytelling nights for the children. But doubt lingered, like a shadow at dusk. What if the city still doesn't listen? Someone whispered from the crowd. What if they still bulldoze it all? The silence that followed felt heavy. Maya gripped the podium tightly. She could sense the worry in the air, the fear that might derail their momentum. "We can't control everything," she said softly, but with a growing fire. "But we can certainly control how we respond. Even if they don't hear us, we'll keep speaking. We will bind ourselves in every way possible." A fresh wave of energy coursed through the crowd. Maya exchanged glances with the children, who stood with resolute expressions, already imagining their future garden. It ignited a spark of resolve in Maya. "Let us gather signatures. Start a petition. We'll go door to door, make phone calls, and fill every public meeting with our voices. This is our home, we will not be quiet." The crowd erupted once more, fervent and impassioned. "Yes. We won't back down." Voices rang out, bridging the uncertainty with a promise of action. But in the back of her mind, the developer's words replayed like a broken record. As hopeful visions filled her heart, the reality of the financial and bureaucratic walls they faced loomed over her thoughts. Maya's gaze wandered around the room, capturing familiar faces, some radiant with confidence, others etched with doubt. She spotted the boy from before, eyes wide with excitement. A mother clasped her child tightly, an unspoken worry flickering across her features. Just then, Maya recalled how strength lay in vulnerability and courage lay in connection. "Let us gather our stories," she encouraged. "Let us weave them together and create a tapestry of who we are. The more voices we share, the louder we'll be." People nodded, smiles breaking through the clouds of fear. One person raised a hand: "I can help with flyers." Another called out, "I'll set up a community meeting next week." Everyone began to buzz with ideas, each contribution feeding into the collective hope. As the energy surged, Maya knew they were standing on the edge of something transformative. But before she could bask in the warmth of unity, a figure stepped into the light. It was the developer, his eyes darting, the hint of a smirk on his face. "Do you really think this will stop the city's plans?" he taunted, voice dripping with condescension. Those words hit Maya hard, like cold water against her resolve. The air seemed to thicken again, tension creeping into the room as his confident demeanor threatened to cut through the fragile hope they had built. Was this the moment they would falter, or could they prove that love and unity could withstand even the harshest of critics? Maya took a deep breath, a brewing storm of emotions intertwining with determination. She stepped closer to the edge of the podium, her heart pounding. "We may have much to fight against, but this is just the beginning. If we stand together now, who knows what incredible things we can create." The clamor surged around her as the developer's smirk began to fade. Maya felt the weight of an entire community shift, ready to confront whatever came next. But as the crowd began to move forward, she wondered, was this moment enough to deter the looming threat, or would they find themselves scrambling to pick up the pieces once again? Maya took a step back, searching the crowd for some sign of hope, something to rally behind. She could feel the vibration of tension hanging in the air like a thick fog. The developer's words were like thorns, pricking at the unity they had worked so hard to build. But she glanced at the faces around her and felt the warmth of determination rising. The older woman with the vibrant mural made her way to the front, her expression serious yet resolute. "We can't let him win with doubt," she shouted, her voice breaking through the unease. "This place is filled with life, its art, its love, its memories. We will show them what we have." The crowd roared in agreement. People shouted their stories, words spilling forth like rivers, with every memory building a bridge over the uncertainty. Maya felt a flicker of joy as the community began to find its rhythm. Laughter intertwined with tears, and as they shared their histories, a tapestry of resilience began to take shape. "Let us create that mural together," the artist proposed. "We can paint our stories on that canvas, show the world who we are." Maya's heart soared at this idea. She envisioned children splashing bright colors on the canvas, laughter echoing as families worked side by side. It could be a powerful symbol of their fight, a vibrant display that could not be ignored. "What if we host a festival?" Another voice called out from the back, a young father with a hopeful gleam in his eye. "We can invite everyone." "Yes. A celebration. A way to share our culture and history, not just with each other, but with the city too." Mia stepped back to the podium, feeling the rhythmic pulse of the crowd. "Let us make it happen. Let us tell our story loud enough for them to hear. We'll bring together food from every corner of our neighborhood. Art from our hearts. Music from our souls." With each suggestion, the crowd grew louder, churning with energy. People began brainstorming, and the atmosphere transformed from somber doubt to vibrant excitement. Flyers were passed around, hands shot up to volunteer, and Maya found herself swept up in the joyful surge. But amid this blossoming camaraderie, a shadow loomed. Every hand raised was a reminder that bold ideas carry risks. What if they weren't enough? What if this festival drew attention but also drew ire from the city's plans? A deep breath filled Maya's lungs, and she pushed the thoughts aside. They had to move forward. As conversations filled the room, she felt something shift within her. It was more than just community spirit, it was a rekindling of hope. It was a promise. She looked toward the kids gathered in front, bouncing on their toes, their eyes sparkling with dreams of their future garden of their future. Yet just as the room began to reflect that hope, the developer crossed his arms, a menacing presence against the backdrop of joy. His condescension was palpable. "Good luck with your little festival, but at 1T keep bulldozers away." Maya leveled her gaze at him, inner fire igniting. "You might underestimate us, but but we're just getting started. This is who we are. You can't bulldoze our hearts. She could feel the collective strength behind her words as she glanced at the faces brimming with defiance. Outside, the sun began to dip lower, casting long shadows through the windows. There was something magical about that light, illuminating their determination. But as the room glowed with creativity and resolve, worry shadowed Maya's heart. What if they fell short? Let us open our doors, Maya continued, heart racing. We need support. We need everyone to know what we're up against. In the back of her mind, she knew that there would be challenges ahead, but together they could face anything. She could practically feel the electricity in the air, the moments of vulnerability and strength colliding. And with a final surge of emotion, she raised her hands and called out, "Who's with me? Who believes that we can win this?" The response thundered back, louder than she anticipated. As cheers filled the air, Maya couldn't shake the chilling sense of uncertainty clawing at the edges of her excitement. What if all their hard work wasn't enough? As the crowd erupted into plans and excitement, she felt a tap on her shoulder. It was the boy from earlier, looking up at her with wide eyes. "Are we really going to fight for it?" he asked, his voice trembling slightly. Maya knelt down, meeting his gaze, and replied with all the conviction she could muster, "Yes. We are. And together, we'll make sure everyone knows our story." But as she stood up, something in her gut twisted with doubt. The looming threat of the developer's plans pressed heavily against her, making her wonder if they could truly make a difference. What if this festival could not only gather strength but also unite them in a fight that was about more than just saving a garden, but about preserving a home? Would the community hold fast, or would they truly be swept away in the tides of a city that seemed to overlook them? The question hung in the air as Maya prepared to embark on a journey that could change everything. With the festival on the horizon, the looming battle awaited them. Would they rise to meet it, or crumble beneath the weight of despair? Maya woke the next morning to the distant sounds of children playing outside. The sun was shining through her window, painting her room in soft hues of gold. Yet, as she stretched and shook off the remnants of sleep, a heaviness settled in her chest. Today was the day they would start organizing the festival. Today they would begin their fight. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, snapping her back to reality. It was a message from the mural artist, asking if they could meet to discuss ideas. Maya's heart raced. She wanted to dive into the creativity, but uncertainty still gnawed at her. What if their plans fell short? As she got dressed, she turned on the small radio perched on her kitchen counter. The familiar voice of the host filled the room, discussing community events and local heroes. For a moment, she lost herself in the story's shared struggles, perseverance, and the triumph of small victories. It reminded her why this festival mattered, why they had to push back against the developer. They weren't just fighting for a garden, they were fighting for their identity, their community. Maya stepped outside, the warm breeze ruffling her hair as she walked toward the small gathering spot they had chosen near the center of the community. The excitement in the air was palpable, children giggling and running around as they waited. Faces lit up with determination greeted her, igniting that flicker of hope once more. She arrived to find chairs set up in a circle, each filled with a person who shared the same vision. The mural artist was already there, her sketches spread out like colorful dreams. "I have an idea. What if we divide the mural into sections, each depicting a different story? We can have everyone contribute," she proposed, eyes sparkling. Maya nodded, biting her lip. "Yes. That way, everyone can feel part of this. It should represent all of us, every corner of our neighborhood." Suddenly, a woman with a passion for cooking stood up, raising her hand. "And for the festival, we need a cooking corner. Everyone can share their favorite family recipes. It will be a feast of our culture." Laughter and cheers erupted as more ideas flowed. Music, dance, crafts, each suggestion adding layers to their vision. They threw around plans like confetti, weaving together a vibrancy that felt unstoppable. But in the back of Maya's mind, the developer's cold sneer echoed, reminding her of the battle that was looming just beyond the bright day. Hours passed, ideas were exchanged, and a list of tasks began to take shape. Each item on the list brought a sense of progress, but Maya couldn't ignore the growing knot in her stomach. As they began to wind down, she took a moment to step outside. Cool air kissed her flushed cheeks, and the weight of her doubts hung heavily like dark clouds. "Hey!" A voice broke through her thoughts. It was the young boy from yesterday, now standing timidly near the door. "Are we really going to make a difference?" Maya knelt before him, her heart swelling. "You bet we are. I know it feels heavy right now, but when we come together, we can do incredible things. Look at all the love and stories we have. They matter." The boy smiled, but Maya could see a flicker of worry still in his eyes. "But what if it doesn't work?" For a heartbeat, silence enveloped them. "What if it does?" She replied softly, the question lingering in the air between them. "We can't know without trying. And more than that, we owe it to ourselves to show them who we are." As they stood there, a wave of determination washed over her. Maybe the festival was more than just an event, it was a declaration of their existence, a beacon in the face of adversity. Returning inside, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement and hope. They made plans to meet again the next day, and as Maya took a deep breath, she felt a surge of confidence, a feeling that perhaps they were on the verge of something monumental. But as night fell, doubts crept back in. Would this festival truly unite them? Would their stories be enough to stand against the looming threat? Tomorrow, they would gather again. Would it be a step toward triumph or another setback? The uncertainty tightened its grip, but deep down, she knew giving up was not an option. Together, they would face whatever came next. The sun rose in fiery hues, pouring warmth across the sleepy town. Maya felt a buzz of energy as she stepped outside. Today was the day. Today, the festival would unfold, a celebration of hope, determination, and community. As she made her way toward the town square, the air hummed with anticipation, people filtering in with smiles and offerings, a pot of nachos here, a batch of cookies there. Maya caught sight of Jake, his face illuminated with enthusiasm. "Look at all this!" he exclaimed, hands gesturing toward colorful banners and twinkling lights strung between trees. It was as if the garden they were fighting for had sprung to life right here in the heart of the town. "I can't believe it's all happening." Maya beamed, her heart swelling with pride. But just as quickly, a flicker of doubt crept in. Would they draw enough people? Would the developer make his move? "Let us keep this momentum rolling," Jake said, winking as he helped her with the setup. They set up stalls, organized the food, and arranged art supplies for the mural painting. Each task felt like a stitch in the fabric of their community, drawing them closer together. As the hours passed, families streamed in. Laughter danced through the air, and the scent of sizzling burgers wafted from the grill. Children ran through the square, their joy infectious. Maya watched her dream take shape, every smile reflecting the heart of the garden they all longed for. When it was time for the mural, Maya gathered everyone around. The artist stepped forward to unveil the canvas, a clean expanse waiting to be filled with their stories. "Every stroke represents each of you," she explained. "Share your dreams, your history. This is your moment." Amid laughter and playful paint splatters, people began to express themselves. The mural began to bloom, bright colors mingling and intertwining, much like their shared narratives. Maya felt a rush of warmth. She could almost see her father's spirit weaving through each brushstroke. But as the crowd began to grow, an uneasy tension crept in. Suddenly, the developer and his team appeared at the edge of the festival, their expressions sharp and businesslike. Maya's heart sank. The unmistakable chill of anxiety started to settle in. Were they here to put an end to everything they had built? "Stay confident," Jake whispered, sensing her unease. "You've got this. This is about your community's voice." As the announcements began, neighbors sharing stories, laughter erupting, cheers blending with the music, Maya steadied herself, crowding out her growing fear. Each fellow participant was here to celebrate, to invest in their community. Then, stepping up to the podium, she addressed the crowd. Thank you all for being here today. This isn't just a festival, this is a reflection of who we are. Her voice rang out, clear and determined. Every piece of art, every recipe shared, they matter. We matter. A roar of support erupted, and in that moment, it felt as though nothing could tear them apart. The developer shifted uncomfortably in the back, but Maya's strength only grew. Let us continue sharing our stories. Let us prove that home is more than just a place, it's a collection of love, memories, and sacrifice. As the festival progressed, people began to share their stories. An older man spoke of fishing in the river that once flowed strong. A young mother recounted her grandmother's South dreams of cultivating gardens filled with food and laughter. The crowd erupted in joyous applause, buoyed by the shared memories that fortified their bond. Then, a voice called out from the side. It was the boy she had spoken to earlier. Can I say something? Maya motioned for him to come forward, and he climbed up, slightly shaking but resolved. I believe in this garden. My mom says gardens are like family. They need to be fed, and they help us grow. I want to help. As his words hung in the air, Maya knew the room had shifted. A collective gasp revealed that even the developer could see the unbreakable spirit of the community. Inspired, she stepped back to the podium. And what he says is true. Together, we will fight to keep this garden alive, not just with words but with our actions. Let us keep this momentum going. Cheers erupted, bolstering Maya's resolve. But she could still see the flicker of doubt in the developer's eyes. It was time for her to make one final push. We're asking you all to come to the council meeting next week. If we unite our voices there, we can make them listen. The energy in the square soared. Support poured forth, promises of attendance, determination radiating like sunshine breaking through clouds. It was then that Maya pivoted to face the developer. We are ready to champion our cause. We won't let your plans destroy that which holds our community together. The developer's demeanor faltered. He turned away, retreating to his group, perhaps reconsidering the power that lay in the unity of a community driven by love and resolve. As the festival wound down, Maya felt a profound sense of connection. They had come together, uplifted each other's stories, fought with love against the encroaching tide of change. The mural blossomed under the stars, layers of color, laughter, and resilience woven together. This was just a beginning, but it was a victorious one. As families dispersed, Maya felt a wave of pride. It wasn't just an event, it was a statement. No one would forget what they stood for or where they fought to belong. With a heart full of hope, she whispered into the night, "This is our garden. This is our home." And as the last light of day faded and stars began to twinkle overhead, the promise of a new beginning illuminated the path ahead. They were ready for the fight, for the heart of their community, and for everything it could become. If you are inspired by this journey of courage and community, this is your moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your appreciation. Comment your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. True fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Let us continue building a community that thrives together.